their weaponry. Despite her limited arsenal, Tenten had to give Kid credit. She could take a single tool and hone it into her best weapon. Sometimes quantity didn't matter. All that one needed to kill somebody was a shish kebab skewer. Tenten would unfurl her scroll in the air and send out a wave of kunai in Kin's direction, which she barely dodged. She would then fling her senbon at Tenten, which Tenten would catch and seal inside of her scroll. She began to charge, using hit-and-run tactics, trying to keep her on her toes. Tenten wanted Kin to pay attention to her. She didn't want her to know that she already had her beaten. Everywhere Tenten went, a new scroll was placed open. By the end of it, Tenten simply circled around her with the scroll, almost wrapping her in it. In a moment after, Tenten would activate the scrolls, which would strike Kin, defeating her. On the other end of the battle, Neji was facing off against Zaku. He utilized his Byakugan to look inside his opponent and discovered the hollow pipes leading up through his arms. These were the modifications he had done to himself, but what were they for? Zaku was the first to go on the offensive. Neji dodged back, avoiding the blast of air and sound waves entirely. So, you focus chakra through your arms and make sound and air blasts. Interesting. Back to Naruto, he'd been weakened by Dosu, but he wasn't out of the woods yet. As Dosu went to strike him, Naruto dodged, much to his enemy's surprise. What? You're supposed to be helpless as a drunk man. How are you still fighting? Naruto raised his arms again. Dosu was right, he did feel drunk, but this was something that Might Guy already knew. Naruto couldn't handle his alcohol, which meant he got drunk very easily, and because of that, Guy learned the hard way that Naruto was naturally gifted with the drunken fist technique. So, as the attacks came in, Naruto dodged them with such limberness and speed that it seemed as if he had attained some twisted version of Ultra Instinct. Naruto would turn around and swing his body with enough force to strike Dosu in the solar plexus and send him flying, knocking him out. All the while, Neji fought Zaku. "You'd better be careful with those arms. That's your only warning." Zaku scoffed and attempted to strike Neji again with a blast, but before he could, Neji tapped a few pressure points on his arms. As Zaku attempted to fire his attack, there was a severe backfire that caused damage to his arms, nearly blowing them completely off. This scene was brutal, so much so that Tenten herself threw up just as Naruto had, but for a different reason. Naruto approached Dosu and took his scroll. "Let's get out of here," Neji said. Naruto stopped him though. "What?" Neji asked. Naruto was kneeling over Zaku, examining him. "We can't just leave him here like this," Naruto said. "Why should we care?" Neji asked. "I warned him. He brought this on himself." Naruto looked at the poor boy. He seemed semi-conscious by this point. The traumatic experience had left him fractured, however, as his open eyes seemed to stare off into space. He had locked himself in his own head to protect his mind from the reality of how brutally wounded he was. "He's bleeding really badly, and his arms are shattered. I won't leave him like this." Neji scoffed. "He's our enemy, Naruto. Even if he dies, it makes no difference to us." Naruto shook his head. "No, this isn't war. And even if it was, I can't consign someone young who has their whole life ahead of them to die needlessly. Give me the first aid kit." Neji scoffed. "We were gonna set a record." Tenten brought Naruto the medical supplies. Naruto added a numbing agent to both of the boy's arms to dull the pain. He then attempted to stop the bleeding, which was easier said than done. Unable to stop it, he merely slowed it down. He attempted to set his arms the best he could and wrap them up. Naruto realized that this still wasn't enough. "Fine, I'll just carry him." Neji and Tenten were surprised by this. Naruto loaded the boy up on his shoulders. "As I said, I'm not gonna leave him to die. This is just a test for a higher ranking. I'd rather remain a genin than kill an innocent person for a chance to become Chunin." He looked over his shoulder at the boy. "You're gonna be okay. I'm gonna get you to some doctors. I think your arms will be fine. We just need somebody to tend to them." Naruto knew that this was for the best. Most shinobi would demand to continue the exams anyway, but there was no way this one could. He was still dying, even if Naruto wasn't gonna tell him that. There was no way for him to continue like this. Naruto had to save him now. And so, bearing both scrolls, Neji led the way as Naruto followed behind. Tenten came up the rear, keeping Naruto 6. They made it to the center of the forest as requested and utilized the scrolls to summon Iruka-sensei who would congratulate them. However, he'd be surprised to see Naruto carrying someone else. What happened here? Naruto looked to Iruka. "This boy is Zaku Abumi of Team Dosu. He's been brutally wounded in battle by accident, and I wouldn't leave him to die. Please, summon a doctor immediately, Iruka-sensei. I don't want this boy to die for a simple exam." Iruka nodded and summoned a doctor. The doctor would come and take the boy off, where he would proceed to examine him. It was evident that reconstructive surgery was the only option, so they had Zaku taken back to Konoha proper for treatment. However, before leaving, the doctor thanked Team Guy, stating that the prognosis was bright, and there was even a chance that Zaku could continue his career if they managed to fix the internal damage. He said that if they had left him behind, he would have died. Even Neji began to show a sort of guilty look on his face.
Also, Affliction is such a broken like genuinely